Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and welcome back to the glorious Pro Overanalyze. This is taken from the Overwatch Australian Contenders finals. So this was a semi-final match, but we are going to see an absolutely beautiful use of, well, let's just pause. Let's just pause this bad boy, and I'll show you, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen. You see, I've already pre-drawn some stuff on the screen. What does this mean? Well, it means that we have got, if you follow the juicy arrow this way, or we follow it this way, it doesn't really matter. We've got Symmetra. That's right, guys. We've got a Symmetra in play in a pro-level game. We have never seen Symmetra used at this level of Overwatch. Now, this is Overwatch Contenders. This is high-level Overwatch. This isn't just some scrub tournament in the middle of nowhere. Oh, no. But you'll also notice, guys, we've got this. We've got a Bastion. What in the hell is going on? Well, what I'm going to do in this video is show you the way that Order use this Bastion Symmetra comp against Dark-Sided. Obviously, the semi-finals of the Australian Contenders. And, yeah, this is beautiful. Watch this. It's so cool. It's so cool. Like, it's cool to me because we get to see, well, Symmetra, because this is a hero that... Let's just move this off the screen. This is a hero that is, on paper, quite funky and should be able to open up different ways of playing the game. And so, Temple of Anubis' first point, you could argue here, this is an ideal point for the teleporter usage, because look where you can teleport, right? We're going to pause and just show you this, but look, you can teleport onto here. You can teleport onto here. You can teleport onto here. You could, like, teleport into here. You could teleport into there. You could basically, you can teleport all over the place because you can cut down the movement of the team. And if you look at the team comp that they're running here, this Orisa is very immobile, but has great synergy with the Bastion. So if you can drop the, give the Orisa and the Bastion mobility with the Symmetra, and obviously with the damage boost of the Mercy, and then you've got your Widow just to apply pressure from the high ground behind, and then obviously your Diva just to get stuck in. I mean, obviously one thing you'll notice here is we only have one support, right? Because that generally, we'll see. Let's not just jump the gun. Let's just get into it, because I'll explain what's going on as we get to see the action. So, how are they going to open the point? How are they going to attack? Well, I guess we can just skip forward a little bit here. In fact, no, let's just leave it, because you can see where the defensive team is setting up. You can see where Dark-Sided are setting up. Pretty standard. You know, they're on this sort of high ground. It's fine. It's going to be difficult for Order to break into that. Like, how do they break this? Well, this is going to be the most difficult part of this push. So let's see what happens. So straight away, Dark-Sided Turmo there is looking, he's like, okay, would have told the team what he's just seen, which isn't a lot, because they moved out the right-hand side door to avoid detection, right? So watch this. Watch this. So, with Telly onto the high ground. Here we go. Let's pause it. Hang on. Let's see if we can pause it a little bit of better position. It gets a kill, obviously. Anyway, this is a mess because it's, like, obviously taken from a Twitch VOD. But what's going on here on the screen, dead simple. First, teleport onto the high ground, deploy the barriers, set the Bastion up, and hammer them on the standard defensive position to force them to move. That is the first thing, the first goal of this comp. And exactly it works. They get a kill on the Junkrat. They're piling through. Look at the enemy team. Right, look at the enemy team, right? Look at the enemy team. They've been forced away from this high ground. They had to get the hell out of there, so they were here, and they had to get down onto the point and find cover because of this absolutely brilliant attack. Now, this is something, I've done this on ladder. In fact, we did this on the PTR when Symmetra was first available, but I haven't really seen it in competitive that often because people just don't play Symmetra. She still isn't really seen as a hero in a good place, so it's a bit of a shame. Anyway, you can see the way they've done this, right? So they teleport onto the high ground. Orisa drops a shield, which is awesome. Bastion is set up here, firing down into there. Now, the key thing to remember with all of this is Bastion can use the teleporter when he's in turret mode. Yeah? So if it's near him, he can teleport through it. This means you can move around the map in turret mode and just absolutely wreck people, right? Because there's no setup time. You're just moving around. How can you fight against a turret that is moving, like a Bastion that's moving around like that and outputting so much damage? It's so difficult, right? So let's take a look at this now. They're trying to take over the ground. What's the next step? What's the next goal of this comp? Right? There you can see the teleporter gets placed down, and then they get set up in this position. Okay, cool. So now they're set up in this position. So you can see it's this leapfrog, right? It's jump to point 1, jump to point 2, and then they're going to go to a different point, and then a different point, yeah? That's basically the strategy they're using here. So, look at this setup here. Really, really good setup. Basically, Darksided are in a really bad position here because they've lost all of the good positioning. They've lost all of the high ground. They're forced down onto the point. You've got the Widowmaker set up from the point of view that we can see in the typical Widowmaker position, which means you've just got vision over like the whole point, basically, so you can just fire at will. You've got your Bastion set up here behind an Orisa barrier. You've got your Mercy pocketing the Bastion, giving him damage boost, just making him do tons of damage. You've got your tanks here moving forward to try and take the point away with so much cover and fire. It's all about lines of sight here, and they are absolutely under control by Order just because of the way they executed this attack. Now, what must be said, the defensive position Darksided used by setting up here is probably what led to their downfall. Now, if they'd set up over here, okay, with their own Orisa barrier up there, or they were more defensively inclined, then when the Bastion was shown, they could have just moved away, sort of, you know, hid around the corner, gone over here. They could have avoided that initial loss because remember, they lost Yuki straight away because he got killed by the Bastion. But again, you don't expect the Bastion. This is one of those strategies a team can use and just sort of pull it out of the bag and you don't know what's going on. Like we go back to the strategy that was used by Gladiators against London, if you guys remember that from Overwatch League, where Gladiators just left Shore 4 in the spawn. We waited for London to rotate and then he just killed them with a Widow because you don't expect a Widow behind. Those kind of strats only work once. Anyway, let's press play and see how they push forward and take more of the space. So, Ater gets a kill there. Molotov, 99 elim there from the Widow. So Widow basically killed him almost with one shot. There we go. So you see the next jump. You see the next jump there? We can see it on the high ground. There we go. So the next movement now. So remember, they started here. Like, that X indicates, like, where the Widow is, right? So, yeah, from... Okay, well, let's just get rid of that. So they started where the Widow was. Then they went down to this ground here, took control. Now they're up onto this high ground here, taking control. They've got a range, an arc of fire with the Bastion all over the point here. This is ridiculous. This means the point is there. It's like, how the hell can Darksided actually contest this? Like, what can you do? And of course you've got a Widow again that just sees everything. So again, what the hell are you going to do? It's a major problem. So let's see what Darksided try and do. So you can look at that setup. Look at that. It's just free firing into them. Nothing is stopping them, right? They don't know what to do. Darksided are like, what do we do? They win the Widow battle though, which is huge. And then we see the next move, ladies and gentlemen. And the damage just being piled here is just crazy. Look at this. I mean, you can hear the casters. Let's just pause this, but you can hear the casters there. He doesn't know what to shoot at. He's just holding down the left click. That's kind of what you do, right, with this. You're just piling the damage into everybody. Nobody cares, right? You are putting out so much damage, it's insane. I mean, if you look at this little setup here, so let's just look at what's happened. So we've lost... I say we, so imagine we're Order. Because obviously we're watching from their point of view. We've lost our Widow. Our Widow's respawning, but she'll be back in the fight fairly quick. So that's not really a problem. We've got Symmetra turrets here. We've got our nice barrier shield in front of us. We're set up on the high ground here. This is the best position to be in because we're taking control of the point, yeah? Any enemy reinforcements that either come this way, through the main, or here. We can see all of this. We know there is no enemy behind us. They're all in front of us. We know that they're down here. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. My throat was getting destroyed. We know that they're in there. Look at that. This is great. This is like really, really great. Like just the fact that they leapfrog from over here to here to here and then to here is so cool to me. Like this is how this Symmetra should be used. Because how can you fight against this, right? It's so cool. All right, so they're just doing whatever they like here. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Do what you like. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. They've got no idea. Like, they're in there. They're just getting battered. They're getting destroyed. The reinforcements are coming through there. They still can't do anything about it. Bastion's now on the low ground. You can see the kills are coming through, though, for Darksided. So it's not like a total one-sided disaster. Symmetra. This ultimate... ladies and gentlemen, is just ridiculous. And you can see, they just start cleaning up now. I mean, Junkrat, that was ambitious. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. How cool is that? It is a cheese strat, don't get me wrong. It is absolutely a cheese strat. But it's showing you the power of Symmetra and Bastion. And there's a lot of power, right? If you could execute that well, you would be like... How would you stop that? Like, on ladder, how would the enemy team stop that? Like, this again is kind of like the question for the competitive level. How would the pros stop that, right? How would they stop that? Well, I think they just don't get killed, right? It's very simple, but you have to respect it, identify it fast. But I mean, I'll tell you what, let's just pause this and go back, because when we're talking about how would they stop this, like, you need to identify it fast. One of the clever things they did is when they moved out of the spawn, they moved out of the spawn to the right-hand side. This was to prevent them from spotting what's going on, right? So if we watch this back, again, like, I just want to pause this and make a point here. Don't show what you're running, right? If you're playing Widowmaker and maybe you want to keep it hidden, let's say, or you're playing a Doomfist, don't spam Doomfist's abilities in the spawn, because on a lot of maps, you can hear the Doomfist. So if you're playing on, like, Temple of Anubis and Doomfist is spamming away in the spawn, you're like, guys, they've got a Doomfist, because you can hear him spamming away. Now, admittedly, you could just change your hero and do whatever you like, but most of the time, people don't change their heroes. Another thing as well is if you're on the defense, don't show what you've got. Don't run in front of their spawn doors. Don't give away the game. Because remember, intel is everything in this game. So let's take a look at this, right? You can kind of see here, right? So if we look down at the bottom here, you can see them getting ready to move out of the right-hand side spawn door, and then you've obviously got people coming through the main, and I've drawn like a dead guy. What? All right, cool. Right, watch this. Give me the thing back. Go. Can you see? Well, I mean, you can see better there, right? So you've got the Diva, you've got the Widow in the middle. This is cool. And then we've got the Mercy, but then we've got the Bastion and the Symmetra over there. This is to keep them hidden, right? Watch this. So what intel are we actually getting here as a Widow? Right, well, we can see a Mercy, a Widow, and a Diva, but we can't see anything else. So is this player, like, as I'm pausing this, is this player thinking, guys, I can't see the rest of their team. There's some cheese. There's something going on. But it's not enough time to identify what's happening, right? See, we can kind of see. Yeah, here we go. We can see now. So we've got the Symmetra, the Bastion, moving forward out of the right-hand door, which obviously means that they don't see it. They don't know it's coming, and it just quickly takes this high ground, and then it just starts piling through. Look at that. It's so cool. Look at that. Takes the high ground. And as we know, ladies and gentlemen, the rest is history. All right, I'm going to leave the video at that. I thought this would be a really cool thing to do. It's like a breakdown of the Symmetra and Bastion strat, which we have never seen at the pro level. I think there's a lot of potential for this, but honestly, to me, like, when you look at pro level Overwatch, sometimes it can be, as a spectator, it can be a little bit disheartening when you see the same comps run all of the time, or the same heroes generally used all of the time. It is nice seeing a Bastion and a Symmetra come out of left field and see things like that, but I think heroes like Mei, I was going to write Met. That is literally nothing. and after the last time I used this and I was writing all over the screen, I was getting everything spelt wrong. Anyway, Mei, I think Mei could be a bit of a sleeper. There's nice strategies you can do with Mei. Obviously, Sim, so it's nice to see it. And Bastion, like, I honestly would like to see it if there was more of these heroes included in pro-level comps. Yeah, it's cheesy, but the thing is, it shows different ways the game's meant to be played, instead of just rolling with, like, goats comp against goats, or dive against dive, or some sort of variation on dive. You know, but it's a bit sad. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Did you enjoy the awesome Bastion Symmetra gameplay by Order, which is a pro-level game from the Overwatch Contenders Australia in the semi-finals? It was fantastic. In fact, I don't know whether they won, actually, so I will not spoil it for you guys, but yeah, go and Google it. I think actually it's twitch.tv/Overwatch Contenders, and you can check out the whole VOD. All right, guys, I'm Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a like, bing. Don't give it a dislike, bong. And click the bell, which sort of looks like this. What am I drawing here? Yeah, the bell. Tick the bell. All right, catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.